hello, hello.
Hello.
We're back. We're back, baby.
And we're better than ever.
Oh yeah. Happy Women's Day, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, is it
Yeah.
is it Women's Day or is it just Women's Month?
Yeah, it's Women's Month. Well, every day.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So it's Women's Month, everybody. We are doing this live. We're going to see if anybody comes in the chat. We're going to see if anyone's brave and decides to come in the chat.
I'm dead. Let's
Mm-hmm.
see. Okay. All right. Anyways. What's up, Carrie? How are you doing, babe?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm okay. Hanging in there. Hanging in there. You know, that mom life. So
Yes. I too have the cat mom thing.
yes. Yes. And I love it that speaking of cats, I've been listening to uh, that Dungeon Crawler, Carl's Dungeon Crawler,
Oh,
and
Dungeon Caller Carl.
Carl, yeah,
Yes.
and it's so much fun, and the cat is so precious. It's a little
Princess
sassy
Donut.
ass. Yes,
Princess
she's
Donut and her
amazing.
court.
Yes, I love it.
I
So
love
yeah,
Donut. I started reading the
yeah,
second one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah,
I love I
I
love
just started.
I love Donut. She's my favorite character.
Yes, I loved it when she came on and
Yes.
she was like, and you know what I'm talking about. She's like, just I was a little diva. I loved her, absolutely loved her. So yeah, I'm having fun. This isn't my first lit RPG. Is that what it is? It isn't my
Yes.
first, but like I'm really having fun with it. So yeah,
And I found that like
yeah, yeah,
sometimes that
yeah.
turns people off to it, but it's like, no, guys, it's not really that big of a deal. It's just like if you're oh, hey. March 8th is oh, okay. Well then it's great that you're sharing it with us. Because we are women and there is the officially unofficial geek partner there.
Oh
Uh
yeah,
oh, he's adorable. We like him.
yeah. Yes, yes, we did. He's a keeper.
Yeah.
So yeah. And speaking of that, we had some requests, right? Because we weren't coming back until we were going
We
to do.
yeah, we weren't planning on being back here with you guys until we had Gotham City Sirens. But we
Mm-hmm,
just so you know, like this is the first time we've done this live. Okay.
mm-hmm,
And this is the first, but like any other time that
right.
Sheena has put it up, she's done it as like a live premiere so that there's always like a chat. And
Mm-hmm,
actually, like every once in a while, like when they're going up, like I'll hop in and see what's in the chat. Sheena will do the
mm-hmm,
same, right? And
mm-hmm.
we saw one person jump in. Bobby. Bobby was
Okay.
like, I think he was. I honestly, I'm not sure, but I think he was responding to us talking about telling you guys what we were going to be reading next, which
Mm-hmm,
we had not planned on this.
mm-hmm.
And he just puts Dark Knight Returns in the chat. That's the
Right.
entire message. Dark Knight Returns. And I'm like, okay. Now, unbeknownst to Bobby, but my boyfriend earlier in the
Mm-hmm,
evening comes
mm-hmm.
in and says, "What are you guys doing next? Are you going to do Dark Knight Returns?" And he's like,
So
"You
just
should
a
do Dark Knight
sign.
Returns." And I was like, "No, we're doing Gotham City Sirens." And so apparently, a couple people at least is enough for us to jump on the
Yeah,
ball and
yeah. Especially the people that are watching and supporting us, and yeah, I mean, it's not just about us. We try to make it about you guys too. So yeah, and
yeah.
then I was like, oh, Carrie was like, oh. I was like, oh yeah, we could squeeze that in before. And I was like, oh, 4 issues? I got this. And she goes, I was like, no, no, I got this. And when I opened it, I was like, maybe I don't got this. And I was
Now,
like, no,
did
I'm gonna pull
you
this off.
you read it digitally like I did this time around?
Hmm.
Okay,
Right.
so this is your first time reading Dark Knight Returns. This is my second.
Okay.
So I had already read this, so I already knew kind of like what was coming for you
Right.
in the reading of this,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I basically was like, okay, it's 4 issues, but these issues are long.
Right.
There's lots of
Right.
wording, lots of panels,
Lots.
lots of stuff to
Yes.
see. A lot of that stuff gets jam packed in there.
Uh-huh. Yes. I was
And
like, oh my God. My
oh,
Clark County education was
what,
up to a
what? Put
10.
that back up. That right there, right there,
Yeah.
right there. Because you
Hell
know what?
yeah.
We're gonna shout out Carrie Kelly. Nobody talks about her, and she slept on. Okay, Carrie Kelly is awesome. I love her. She's one of my favorites.
Hmm.
And it's not just because my name is Carrie and my sister's name is Kelly.
That's dope.
It's not just because of that. But Carrie Kelly is just like she's kind of like one of those characters, and it's kind of similar to the like the storyline of Tim Drake, like seeks out this role.
Hmm.
Like she just jump, and we'll get into that, I'm sure,
Yeah.
in a
Right.
bit.
Yeah.
But Frank Miller is a very divisive figure in the comic community, no matter what time period and what era we're talking. Okay.
Right. Okay.
And it's important that we also kind of address that,
Okay.
because he's done some shitty shit.
Yes.
Um, Holy Terror comes to mind. And we have to also, remember that he did that, and it was a horribly Islamophobic, racist piece of literature.
Yes.
And we can also take a little bit of comfort in the fact that he's not fond of it either, from what I understand.
Hmm.
He spent a lot of his professional career, especially as a younger man, using
Yes.
substances. And
Hmm.
particularly, he was quite fond of alcoholic beverages.
Hmm.
And at one point, story goes with this guy, at one point he I had read an article, all right, about him now, and supposedly, allegedly, Neil Adams, who was one of his mentors, one of his
Mentors. Yeah.
mentors, one of his heroes, had basically said, "You know what? I'm not angry at you. I'm disappointed."
Hmm.
And
I
as
think
we
I heard that.
know,
Or yeah, a lot
disappointment
more.
is worse than angry. Like,
That part. That
like,
part. Especially for somebody that he idolized and looked up to, and
yeah,
all that, and for your hero to say, oh, I'm disappointed in you. You
yeah.
know.
And
Ugh.
supposedly it was part of, like, it was like at least one of the things that kind of kicked Frank Miller in the butt and was like, oh, I can't do this anymore. This isn't
Hmm.
really me.
Yeah.
And he's sober. Last reported, he's sober now. And
Hmm.
he's still creating art.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. I didn't know anything really about him. I just like vaguely try to watch because like Carrie said, we crammed this in what, a week or something, Carrie,
I
or
think
something like
it
that.
was like a
A
two
week and
week
a half.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So between work, trying to read, this, trying to make, slides and everything like that, trying to like learn about him a little bit. Like it was just,
And
I heard bits and pieces. I'm like, oh, is he this and that? Oh, okay.
and can I
But
just
you
throw
can't
this
deny like,
can I just throw
huh?
this out there, you guys? If you're
Yeah,
watching now or in the replay, all these visuals, aside from the thumbnail, the visuals, they're all Sheena.
yeah.
Sheena did
No,
all
you
this
didn't have to
shit.
say that. Don't look at it. Don't look at it.
Sheena did all
Don't.
this. Now the thumbnail, that's me. Sheena.
Yeah, that's very cute. I hate making thumbnails. I told her that. I was like, I fucking hate making thumbnails, girl.
So
And she made me. I was like, perfect.
so like this is all these visuals that you're seeing, everything put together, any of this is all Sheena, and I want to make sure that we mention that, because really all I did was like, hey, these panels might be cool, and I read it and showed up today. So Sheena deserves like all the flowers and everything for doing all the stuff that she
Thanks, babe.
does,
Yeah.
because everything you're seeing on the screen, the background, the images, they're all pulled up and put together and curated by her. So
Stop it. I didn't
credit
say
where
that
it's
to
due.
have that. But yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, I didn't get to sit down and like really experience it before, like, like as much as probably other people did. And like you
Mhm.
said, it was your second time going through it. So I don't know if you have like different feelings on it, So hopefully what I put together, how I put it together makes sense. And I made it, like I followed the story good enough to, so yeah.
I
But
think
yeah,
I
I've heard
think
it.
that when you're talking about the Dark Knight Returns, you also have to realize, one, this is the 40th anniversary. I don't know if we've mentioned that
Yes.
yet today.
Yes.
Right now, it's 2026. It's been in existence for 40 years. That this is kind of one of those things that a lot of the writers and artists that we celebrate now,
Hmm.
that we're always talking
Yes.
about, are like your faves. Like who doesn't love Jim Lee drawing Batman?
Hmm.
Okay, who doesn't love that? Like who doesn't love Jim Lee drawing Rogue?
Right.
Okay. um and he has said on some of the write-ups and everything like that for the 40th anniversary of Dark Knight Returns, that this was the thing. This is the thing that told him, yes, that is what I should be doing with my life.
Hmm. Hmm.
um Current Batman writer Matt Fraction, um James Tinian, like a shit ton of people really look to
Hmm.
this book as one of the major things that was like their Pied Piper to the world of
Okay.
comic books.
Nice. Nice. And then this paved the way for a lot, like for people to write that the way that they wrote today, right? Like this
Hmm.
story and the way that he wrote and made it so gritty and dark and like more adult, made it pave the way for other people to write like that. And we got other things like Year One, right? And
Which was also written by
uh,
him.
yeah, and the Death in the Family, things like that. Like
Yeah.
I guess like before he started writing, Batman was like kind of campy, I guess.
A little bit,
Yeah.
a little bit. Like
Okay.
he's the Dark Knight, so he's always the dark. If you go as far back as, because I've read some stuff from the Golden Era, if you go like
Okay.
Golden Era Batman, oh God, like
Okay.
night and day, night and day.
Okay.
Um, there's a reason why a lot of people do look at things like Batman 66, like
Okay.
the Adam West Batman, and think that that's like very reminiscent of the Golden Era. Um, it's a lot more campy still, but
Hmm.
Yeah, so this is night and day to things like early Batman, like
Okay.
1940, like night and day.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So, right. So, shall we get into it? Oh,
Let's do that. Let's
what
do
did
that.
Michael say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I was gonna say that too. It was like very much so. Now that I've read it, and I swear to God, I was thinking about that today. I was like, huh, just like because I was thinking, yeah, I mean, you could say what you want about Frank Miller, but like he kind of like set the tone at times, you know. And I was just like, holy shit, the book that I love the most is like right now is Absolute Batman, and I could have sworn that I saw something like a little bit that he had said that he absolutely loves his work and stuff like
Scott,
that. And that,
Scott Snyder specifically.
yeah.
So you guys remember like near the beginning of the pandemic, like right after it started, all these writers that were comic writers were getting paid to do stuff on Substack.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ones that was doing stuff on Substack was Scott Snyder.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he did was he has a comic book writing course where you pay to be on his Substack, and he teaches a course monthly. You have a lesson on comic book writing. And I took part of that course. The first day, the first lesson is the first pages of this book.
Right. So here, let me get that. Sheena, don't fuck this up. Hold on, I fucked it up. All right, there we go. Oh, this was one of the things too. We'll come back to this, but what were you saying? This is the first page, right?
These are So you have Bruce Wayne, driving a race car, and in particular, it's set the way the panels are set up and everything like that, and what's being said in these panels. He said it's an important lesson in learning how to set up the entirety, the entire feel of the book. And this is like your preview. This is like if you're on YouTube and you're like, so who knows how to read comics, backwards? Well, we're going to tell you today. That's what reading manga is like. and oh, but by the way, this is what we're doing. And then you go in and you start from the beginning, right? That's what this is doing. This is like sitting here and they're like, this is the feel for everything that's about ready to follow in the next however long it takes you to read the damn thing, because these issues are.
So what did you think when you very first saw the first panels? Can you remember?
I remember being like, I saw these panels in that course before I ever read the book.
Okay.
And I remember it enticing me to go ahead and read it. Because when you were coming into reading floppies and reading regular comics, and you're coming into it and you're doing it in that time period, like in the early pandemic, which is what I did, and you're hearing about Frank Miller.
Great.
And Frank Miller was still like, people were not really talking very nicely about Frank Miller. And you're just like, okay, why do I want to read this? Because he sounds like an idiot. And then people are like, no, you don't understand. This is Dark Knight Returns. This is
this right here. This shit right here. Right. Well, for me, when I told him I'd never seen this, like I said, I'd never seen this. And I'm pretty sure I've heard it, like in passing, and Frank Miller's name in passing, watching other people. And I was like, oh, let me get this. Hoopla. Opened it up. I'm like, what? And okay. But it just took me a minute. It took me a minute. I was just like, okay,
Mhm.
all right, we're going
I
to do it. And I
remember
was
you
flipping
being
through it. I
like,
was like,
I remember you being
a
like, oh
texture
God,
pack.
what is this? I'm trying. You were like, I'm
I'm so
trying.
Now, I'm going to admit, this isn't something that I would have picked up by myself. This is never anything that I would have picked up by myself. And I'm not acting like I'm just so used to modern stuff and everything like that. But I was just like, nope, we're going to do this. And I was like, we're going to kick our county education up to 10 and we're going to get through this. It was just very poetic, like the way that he was talking. I was like, fuck. And I know I had to go back and look, but this first panel, I was like, what is going on? Just at first glance, I was like, okay, just trying to figure it all out. But once I got into the groove of it, I was like, okay, got it,
Mhm.
got it. But I had to take notes. I know that. I was like, because he kept jumping everywhere and like his writing. But at the end of the day, I can appreciate it and I could see the value in it. So
There was definitely a message that he was putting forth here. Not just here, but in the entire thing about the relationships between people, between classes, between types of people. And especially in 1986,
hmm,
okay,
okay,
when we are at the height of Reagan, which is a character in this book.
yeah, yeah. Let's get into it. So yeah, so we have the first panel. You want to talk about this first page, Carrie? When our boy, our zaddy's going there, I was like, oh, who's this in the car?
So basically, you have Bruce Wayne. He is driving a race car and he is pushing the limits and he's doing it. It's, I would say that just to jump in and what Evil was saying there is,
Maybe.
I'm going to say not necessarily that. I'm
Yeah,
going to say that I don't necessarily agree with that.
yeah.
I think that when you have a person that has tried to do something of a redemption, as
Mhm,
Frank Miller has tried to do, when
mhm,
you see someone that has tried to make right on what they've done wrong,
mhm.
even if it doesn't work, even if it's not
Right.
enough for everyone.
Yeah, and it's
To,
sincere, and it's yeah. You could see that they really generally didn't know what the hell was going. Like my bad.
yeah, like
Like yeah.
I think that if somebody is, it's up to, it's the first step of redemption is up to the person that did the wrong. The second
Mhm,
step of redemption is for them to know I did this wrong. Now, how do I try to make it right? Now, the third part
right.
has nothing to do with that person. The third part has everything to do with everybody else and what they take out of the situation. And it has
Mhm,
nothing to do with that first person at that point. You
right.
have to make the decision for yourself
Mhm,
where you want to let that person and their effort to land with you.
right.
And if your every reaction is valid here when it comes to that sort of thing, because somebody can be like, okay, he's making an effort, he's showing remorse, he's showing that he's interested in redeeming himself.
Mhm,
I'm fine with that, and I can go ahead and I can go read, year
yeah.
one or whatever, and I can talk about it, or we can talk about it like we're talking about Dark Knight Returns today. Now, let's take that and kind of flip it on its, let's 360 that, 180, excuse me,
Right.
more like 180. Okay, let's 180 that. And let's talk somebody that's very decisively divisive. Okay,
Uh-huh.
let's say that.
Right.
J.K. Rowling.
Yes. And don't give a fuck. And blatantly with the bullshit.
J.K. Rowling. No, I
Yeah.
do
No.
not. I do, especially with the fact that that woman makes a dime for every dollar that is spent on authorized Harry Potter
Uh-huh.
merchandise.
Right.
Wizarding World, you spend $1, she makes 10 cents or something to that effect. Okay? When everything that comes out of Harry Potter and the Wizarding World and you purchase it and she makes money and she
Directly goes and hurts people.
directly thinks that because you're still spending money, then that
Mm-hmm.
is the reason she can spew the hate she does.
Yep. So yeah.
You get away with it.
So there's
So,
a total difference. Yeah. So I mean, and that's on you. If you, I'm not. You do you. You know, it's your time, your money, your effort, whatever. But like, I agree with Carrie. Like, there's some things that you can get over and say, okay, you know, because we all are human. And if you genuinely give a fuck, you will put yourself in that position to be humble and learn something and be open to change and stuff. And then there's people that are like, I'm gonna just do whatever the hell I want to do because you guys are gonna continue doing the shit and fuck your feelings and everything like that. And there's, like I said, even in true life, there's things that everybody's welcome here, but there's stuff that I'm not gonna tolerate.
mhm.
And period.
and and
Not for
and
the views, not for nothing.
and for some people, it's easier for people to excuse things,
Yeah, yeah,
and
that's
that's their own level. That's their own
mhm.
viewpoint. But if somebody comes to me and says, "Carrie, look at this wonderful thing that I just bought. That's new. That's Harry Potter. Oh my God, what do you think?" I'm judging you.
I'm like, oh, yeah.
I'm judging
And I
you.
have homies that love Harry Potter, and I'm just like, I totally get it. You grew up with it, blah blah blah. But for people to start it now, I'm kind of like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But anyways, we're getting off topic. Okay, so
Yeah, but
keep it going.
that's kind of that's the place that we're coming from.
Right. So, so
But yeah. Anyways, back to Dark Knight Returns. Um,
right.
so
So oh yeah. Okay. So we start that there's a it's scorching hot outside. There's a few things that happen. Um, we get on the news. They're talking about how um, there's this group going around doing horrible things, right? Commissioner Gordon's about to retire because he's like 70 years old. He's being forced to retire. Um, and there's a 10-year anniversary of the last sighting that we see Batman, right? And people are starting to think that, like, kids that are growing up and stuff don't realize like he was even real or anything. Like, was he a myth and everything like that? And
mhm.
since then, the crime has kind of gone crazy, especially that it's hot. Things are going bonkers, and I think that the heat had something to do with like the tone of the story at times.
Well, this is one of those moments where one of the first things he talks about is attention to the fact that there's a climate change issue. And then back then,
Hmm.
we were talking about saving the rainforest and the greenhouse effect and that kind of thing. And this all applies right in the beginning.
Hmm.
He's making a statement. He's just like, the weather and the climate directly connects to how people act,
Right.
and the desperation that some people feel that cause them to do whatever they do.
Right. Right. Okay. So then we have she like your fat fingers. Okay, so we see Gordon and Zaddy. They're having a drink together, and they're just kind of reminiscing. He's
What is
our
it? What
older
is it that I
Bruce, and
told
he's
you?
actually drinking.
What was it
Huh?
I told you? I was like, Daddy or Batman is not Daddy Batman in this. He's Silver Fox Batman.
Exactly, he is. And then they're sitting there having a drink, reminiscing. He even asked them, "Have you talked to Dick Grayson?" Right?
Yes, This
Yeah,
is where
he's
he
like,
talks,
no,
yes,
you know what?
about Dick Grayson.
Yeah, yeah.
And you get the idea that, Batman has not spoken. Bruce, that, like, you find out here, Dick Gray,
Hmm.
Commissioner Gordon is very aware
Hmm.
who Bruce Wayne is,
Right,
as in he's Batman.
right,
So you get the idea, like, they start kind of planting the seed about why Bruce decided to put up Batman.
right.
And
Yeah.
this is before Death in the Family.
Hmm.
And it's basically the reason why he puts it up. You find out eventually is because Jason was
Yeah.
killed.
Right.
This is before
Yeah.
Death in
And
the
it's
Family, which is,
right.
yeah.
So then we see Bruce headed home, and he's, you see the people in the background, and he's reminiscing, and he's just like, I don't know if I could do this. It feels like the streets are always calling him back. And he's just
Mhm.
like a shell of a man and everything. And like, Gordon even says, "Oh, you just need like, get laid or something. You can get over it."
Right.
And it's just like, just it's just scratch and stuff. And he's just like, no, I think it's deeper than that. He's just going, like in
Mhm.
and he's just going back and forth with his own self. Then as he's walking home, he encounters two of those mutants,
The mutant
for
gang.
the
Yeah.
gang. Yeah, the mutant gang, and they're like sizing him up, and they're like kind of like,
And
maybe we change
and
our mind, even though he's older. Yeah,
Bruce is like,
huh?
I wish a bitch would.
Yeah. He was like, fuck around and find out, and he realizes that like a lot of them are these two, at least these two are really young. They're
Yeah.
really young. He's just like, I don't want to, but I will. You see what I'm saying? And that just
Mhm.
fuels his hunger to
He's
do
starting to
what
feel
he
not
wants.
only he's starting to feel
Yeah,
not only a hunger, but he's also starting to see this fierce urgency of what's going on around him.
right,
Hmm.
right. So then we skip over to, and like if you guys already read this, I try to make it to where I could understand it and try to like flow with it. So I know a little bit of it is out of order, and I apologize. Okay, but
Hmm.
so we move over to Arkham, and we get to see our sedated, like Joker. I
He's
didn't even know that this fucking
catatonic.
Joker when I first saw him.
He's been catatonic for 10 years, guys. I
Yes,
wonder why.
I wonder why, right? He doesn't have his boy toy to play with all day. So
Hmm.
yeah, so we get to see him and the two psychologists that are walking through, and they actually um, fixed Harvey Dent. Right? They
Hmm.
reconstructed his face. There he is seeing himself for the very first time. Taking it all in, and he's very teary eyed. They're like, "Presto chango, we fixed him. We fixed his face. He's gone through rehab." They believe in like you can heal the soul, you can heal the mind, and they could
Hmm.
be able to be put out there, even though these people did horrific things.
Right.
It's because they are sick. So we're gonna, so this is like Harvey is like their project to show that yes, like everything is great. We can fix this,
And
right?
this is
And we
kind of
fix
like,
it.
this is kind of my, like, talking about how, you know redemption, the idea of redemption, like, are some people beyond redemption?
Hmm.
He didn't have these issues from the public when he wrote this in it. Yeah, no, of course, yes, he didn't. And but the thing is, a lot of people, when you bring up Dark Knight Returns now, you have a lot of people that are like, oh, but he's that asshole that wrote Holy Terror.
Hmm.
And
Right.
it's like, okay, so you're not going to read Dark Knight Returns because he's the asshole that wrote Holy Terror. Okay, well, that's your decision. That's your,
Yeah.
that's a legitimate
Right.
decision to make. What I'm
Right.
hoping to bring up here is that there is the whole story is that this is a dude that had addiction issues,
Yeah.
and a lot of times, that's you do asshole things.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think when he wrote that, I could be wrong. Don't quote me on this shit. But when he wrote that book, didn't 9/11 just happen? And he was like right there at
No.
the ground zero?
Oh,
No?
no.
No? Okay.
So 9/11 happens obviously in 2001, right?
Okay.
2010 is when I believe he released the book. That's what Eva was talking about with 2010.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that kind of
Yeah. But you're right.
it,
Addiction, and I've lived with people that are addicts, and you have like, and I'm not excusing, I'm just saying I totally understand. Like when Carrie said that, I've lived with addicts damn near all my life, and you have it just brings out the fucking shittiest side of them. And it's just like, what? Like, who are you? Like,
and on the flip side, one thing that's really important to mention also about Frank Miller is even now you have Frank Miller doing art still, and he's doing covers and that kind of thing. And we have a lot of discourse going on in the comic reading community that bitches about his art now and how it's changed.
Okay, but I mean, he's gotten older, right? Like,
He's gotten older.
He's changed.
And he's sober. And anybody that's ever gone through addiction and recovery, if you go through recovery and you're in recovery, there are changes that happen where you change mentally, emotionally, physically. And sometimes the things and the way you did them before completely change.
Right.
And I look at the fact that Frank Miller is still doing art as a, you know what, whatever. He's drawing, okay? He's drawing.
Yeah.
As opposed to never giving us anything ever again. As opposed to drinking himself, to oblivion. Like he's drawing. He's here,
Yeah. And
enjoy
maybe
your
using
art.
that as
Enjoy your art
therapy
and
too. Right. Okay. So then, so they want to release Harvey, and Gordon's like, hell to the no. I don't think this is a great idea at all.
Right.
And Bruce is more like optimistic about it. He's just like, I believe in Harvey Dent, because he wants to believe in himself too, that he could be different, that he can escape his demons and stuff like that.
And he doesn't just believe in Harvey Dent. You caught the fact that he paid for this therapy.
He paid for his. Yeah, so he truly believed it. Yeah. So while he's sitting here talking about he believes in Harvey Dent and his redemption, like Bruce is having nightmares. Bruce is like going through it, reliving stuff, and like really, really going through it. So.
And if you think about the reason he is not Batman anymore at this point, is because a Robin died on his watch. So yeah, like you see he's in the cave, and you see the glass case.
I was like, oh, is he naked? When I first saw this, like, this is a really touchy moment and shit. And I was like, oh, is he naked right there? That's the first thing I said when I was reading this. So
this is not Batman Dan, okay?
Oh my God.
This is Batman in 1986. You're not going to see Daddy Dawn, okay?
Deadass. But no, like, so he sleepwalk down there, and you can see that everything's covered up except for, the display of the Robin suit.
Yeah.
And then we get our first look at Alfred.
Mr. Alfred.
And Alfred's like, he's like, sir, what are you doing down here? Like very concerned. And he's like, sir, you even shaved? When the hell did you shave? And Bruce doesn't remember even doing anything like that. Like subconsciously, like he said, things are calling him back and, back into the streets and everything, to that life. And he's just like,
He's feeling that fierce urgency of now.
Right. And then we move over to uh, our boy Harvey. He loves that one.
Harvey, did you last 24 hours, sir? Like, we just gave you a new face. We released you. And did you last 24 hours, Harvey? No, I don't think so.
Right. And then, because the word is on the street is that Harvey's back into his old shit. Then you kind of get confirmation right here that he's doing
Mhm.
some shady shit because, you get to see his coin right here and all such, right?
He's showing up. He's doing the thing. He's like, I can't like shake that life. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I was just looking at my notes. My bad.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is just him more like, I know he gets a call from Selena. You get the, like answering services. She's like, Bruce, I need you. I want to see you. And he just kind of like totally like whatever, went over his head. I think Superman called him too to check on him or something like that. And he's just going through it. Like he's in his heart, he's in his mind. And he's just like, and then something, that bat scene, is it right here?
Mhm.
Is it this one? I'm sorry. Yeah, this bat actually flew through the window, right? And
Mhm.
or I don't even know if it really happened, but he took that as a sign that, you know, the city needs him again. The city needs him to be
Yeah.
what for him to return. So I hope I'm doing it.
I'll
Okay.
return your calls
And
later,
then
Selena.
the redemption. And um then let me see. All right, then we go over and we get to see Carrie Kelly for the first time.
Yeah.
And she's like 13 years old, I think that they say, right?
Yeah, she's a teenager.
And yeah, she's just a baby. And she's walking through like this event or like this amusement park or something. They took a shortcut. And
Yeah.
then her homegirl's like, no, we shouldn't go this way because like the mutants like kind of hang out here. And she's like, no, 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 it's a band, like it's raining and shit. Like all the lights are we're good. We'll be all right. And then actually Batman, the mutants are in there. And they try to attack the girls and they're actually saved by Batman. So it shows before then, like Batman coming back out, he saves
Mhm.
like a lady from getting mugged, a guy getting mugged out, like little things before he had
Yes.
actually went to go save her, and
Mhm.
there's Daddy all suited up back
Silver
at it
Fox
again.
Batman.
Yeah. Right. So then they're on the news, they heard about it. Carrie Kelly's like, I think it was Dracula that saved us, like, because she doesn't know. And
Mhm.
she's like, it
Yes,
looks like
no
Dracula.
kidding.
Like, he saved us and all this. And like, they were like, oh, word on the street that, Batman may be showing back up and everything. So we see these robbers, and I don't know how to say that word very well. And um, they just jacked the they just jacked the bank, right? And they're on the run. And Daddy actually, the cops are following them, chasing them. You have uh, younger people on the force, and then you have the older cops, right? So Batman jumps in and he's in the middle of the shit, and he actually like hurts one of the thugs really bad. I think he breaks his leg or something, and
Mhm.
one of the younger ones is like, holy shit, dude, you just broke his leg. Like, get out of here. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, we're going to arrest you. And then the older ones are like,
Like,
calm
huh,
down, sir. Calm
just,
down,
just watch
relax.
him
Like,
work. Just watch him work.
he's all like, you're lucky he even didn't do anything to you. And I'm like, what? And the younger ones are like, no, this isn't right. So not everybody's like, hell yeah, Batman's back. And, he's here to save the day and everything like that. So, and Batman's actually on a mission. Like, sorry, he finds a coin on that dude that he broke his leg,
Yes.
one of the dudes that robbed the bank. And he's like, yeah, I'm onto something. He tells the older cop, like, tell Gordon we need to talk.
And Gordon, of course, knows who to contact.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So then we get to see. So this is Joker, and he gets to see. He's watching the news, and word on the street is that Batman has returned, and we get to see him return back to his old self. I thought this was a great panel. Just that smile alone was a great panel. So
I love how it's just like in like this like he's like nothing, and then all of a sudden it's like you've just told him Christmas came early, and
yeah,
like, oh, and here's the toy you've been coveting for 10 years.
right,
Here
right.
it is.
Right. So we're going back and forth on the news, if I can remember right. Some people, like the lady, is for Batman, and then this dude over here is against Batman, right? And they're just having it out. And they're on, is this the one that they're on Point versus Point? I believe,
Yeah,
yeah.
I believe so.
So it's just like the news, or, just like if you're just watching like debates and stuff like that. And he's basically telling them, like, no, Batman's ridiculous. And she's just like, he does more good than harm, and, they're just going back and forth. So you have people that are, for Batman and against Batman. And I like how she shuts him down because he's kind of like attacking her too. That's what I didn't understand. It's like, why are you attacking her and calling her ugly and calling her out of her name and all this shit? Like you can't have, and it'd be like that sometimes, like where they feel like they're losing and they have to attack the actual person, but she like claps back and she's just like, oh, we're out of time, but she's like, but we'll get to like, we didn't get a chance to talk about blah 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 blah. And she just goes down the list of what she wanted to say because he was talking over her and stuff, and he didn't get the last word. I thought that was cool. So,
kind of reminds you of like history's a circle. That's how people talk to each other now.
Right. Absolutely. That's so then. Oh, the robber, the dude that robbed the bank, Batman broke his leg and he wanted compensation for it, right? He's like, oh, I want to sue him and all this. And Gordon's like, yeah, I'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get around to that. He's like, did you forget that you robbed a bank and stuff? Are we overlooking that? And he's like, oh, I'm going to sue him and all this. And he's like, all right, good luck with that, And then he was just like, I think Gordon makes a phone call too. And he's just like, oh, I'm going to let go. I'm going to let this dude go that robbed the bank. I don't know. Maybe he might have some information for a certain person. So he puts him back out there on the street just so.
Just because he knows.
He knows that Batman will take that and go and talk to Homeboy. So
yeah, I mean, you really want to go free, okay?
Yeah, we that's fine. You go.
We can make that happen.
So then we briefly get to see that the leader of the mutant, even though we can't really see his face, he talks about how he's going to hurt Gordon, right? And he's like, oh, I'm gonna eat his entrails or something like that, or bathe in his blood and everything.
He's very like, he's just like, oh gosh, like very descriptive, and how that Gotham belongs to him and everything. And this is really like one of those things where it's like you have a group of people that have felt oppressed and now are going a little too far or way too far.
Yeah, way too far. They're doing
to seek some kind of power.
Right.
And that's what's happening here.
Right. Okay. Thank you for clearing that up. And then, so we see our boy Batman with the dude that he broke his leg, and he's handling him again. It's like, damn, bro, you didn't have to do him like that. And then
like one of the things that is very true about Dark Knight Returns is the brutality of this Batman, and get into stuff later about that too.
And I heard that I heard that he was like very, heavily influenced on like Dirty Harry, you know,
Yeah.
and so that's where like a lot of this like talking to him and like beating the shit out of him as he's talking to him. I was like, and the guy's like, I don't know anything, okay? Like he was like, you know, you're gonna tell me something, and he was just like, I have rights too, you know. He's like, yeah, and I count it, and it keeps me up at night, like type shit. How many rights you do have, you know? So he just tells him like, look, dude, all I know is that Harvey is gonna do something big. That's it. I don't know anything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then we see Gordon getting ready to fire up the bat signal for the first time in a long time, and he's like,
Yeah. I love this exchange. I think after I've read this again, I read Dark Knight Returns initially before Matt Reeves' The Batman.
okay,
And then I'm reading this again. In this particular part where he's talking to someone and he's talking about the point of lighting the signal
mm-hmm,
is not just about telling Batman we need to talk. It's also for everyone else to see. And that reminded me of the moment in the Batman, Matt Reeves, the Batman
okay,
with Robert
okay,
Pattinson, right in the
uh-huh,
beginning. And he's talking about we have a signal now that they use to tell me when I'm needed.
yes, right,
And when he's just like, when that signal hits the sky, it's not just a call, it's a warning.
yeah. It's a warning, right? We were talking about that. You had mentioned that. I was like, yeah, that's great. If you hadn't remembered to say
Now,
that, yes,
I have seen the Batman so many times that
right,
I know, and that moment. Spoiler alert: the Batman is my favorite Batman movie. So just we'll throw that out there. Tidbit of
right.
information about Carrie: the Batman is my favorite Batman movie.
It's my second.
Um, and
Lego Batman's my first.
which one?
Lego Batman's my first.
Lego. Okay, all right. An
But no,
honorable
it's
mention for
definitely it's
Lego
okay.
Batman. But no, like the Batman, like especially in that beginning part where you get introduced to this also very dark, gritty early Batman, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like, "We have this signal. It's not just to call me, but it's also a warning to everyone." And then you see
Right.
this moment where like there are various people doing illegal things, and they look up and they see the signal and they're like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, no doubt. And then right here, Carrie Kelly sees it and she's just like in awe of it, right? When it goes up and she's looking at it and she's just like so inspired and everything like that. And then you can hear her parents in the background talking
Her
about
parents are
Batman.
old hippies
Yeah.
that um like if like some of the, especially the stuff that comes out like there's movies like teen movies, coming of age movies in the 80s. One in particular comes to mind where um a character talked about how well, no, there's a movie in the 90s actually. The one I'm thinking of is Reality Bites, where the character played by Winona Ryder talks about how they basically sold out their revolution for sneakers, for a pair of Nikes. And this is a similar comment on this idea of, you got these people, like especially in like 1986 when this came out, they might have a 13-year-old daughter, and they were all like, oh wow, did I lose people? I think I lost people. Okay, well, if you're still there, well, I'll continue. You have a 13-year-old daughter in this whole thing where she has lost, they have lost that whole
Huh?
idea of revolution. See, when you left, I just kept going.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Please. I was like, what the hell happened? I was
When
like, oh
when
my God. I
when
think I
they
just got a call.
this is this whole idea of
My bad.
these hippies that would have like a
Uh-huh.
possibly a 13-year-old daughter, right? These
Right.
hippies are all like, you know, the hippies became yuppies,
Then.
and they're like they've ignored and they've misplaced their revolution, and now they're just sitting there and they're just like misplacing their daughter, quite literally, you know.
Right.
Their daughter just basically like at that point is just like, oh, fuck these guys, I'm gonna go run away with the
Right.
circus.
Right. That part. So then you get to see the signal go up, and then Gordon and Zaddy are having a conversation. He's basically like, he doesn't know. I
Mm-hmm.
can remember he doesn't know what's going to happen, but he knows it's gonna like come from the air, if I can remember right.
Because of certain things that he's connecting things involving
Okay, yeah,
recent activity, and he's like, okay, it's gonna involve this. That's when we're gonna see this guy again, and that's how this is
right,
gonna go down.
got it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next. So we get to see Joker talking to this dude, and he's like basically telling him, "Oh, sir, I've been your number one from the beginning, and I knew that everything's, I still like want to
I
like
still
kiss
ride
your
with
ass and stuff." And
yeah.
and he's just like, "But the Two Face has me doing, making explosives for him and everything."
Rather
And
be
Joker's like,
you.
"Huh?"
He's like, I'd rather be doing it for you.
Yeah, yeah. He's like kissing Joker's ass, and Joker's like, what kind of bombs, what kind of explosives. So
Mm-hmm.
then we get to see Daddy on top of the roof, and he actually has a gun. I was like, what is going on? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, we got
yeah,
Batman with a gun.
and so he, from what I remember, he throws those bombs, right, like those smoke bombs, and it makes everybody like scared for a little while, so he can get everybody cleared out, and then he actually stops the helicopter that was coming, and
That
he
had
sees on the
bombs.
helicopter,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that there was an actual bomb on there, and you know, he takes care of that. And then while that's going on, Harvey's on. He's like this dude that's like wrapped up in, in this wrapping. And he's like, oh, if you don't give me this money, ransom, threatening them to blow up the place, and if they don't give him the money, correct? So,
Mm-hmm.
and then like at this time, Batman still does not want to believe that it's his homeboy. Like it's just like no, he has to know confirmation that, but everything's pointing to it being Two Face, But he's like, no, I'm holding out for hope, like that this isn't my boy out here doing the stupid shit. And he always gets shot, right? He gets shot or something like that. I was like, oh my God. And he falls
Mm-hmm.
out of the
Yeah.
and then
So yeah, so he basically foils the plan to blow up
Mhm.
the building, you know,
Right.
and it's yeah, it's kind of his, like, well, oh crap, you know.
But he manages to get out of it. He grabs homeboy in the midst of it, and he flies like they land in an abandoned place, and
Mhm.
Harvey takes off his bandages and everything. He's like, go ahead and laugh and take a good look and all this. And in Harvey's mind, this is what he really looks like. He looks like Two Face in his head. That's the real him, and that's what they fixed. Like, yeah, this is on the outside, but this is genuinely who he is. And like, he's just like, go ahead and say what you want. And Batman's like, meeting him with like compassion, and he's like, I see you. it's like a reflection, So
Yeah.
I thought that was really sad. I was like, oh,
And then basically, nothing else happens with Harvey Dent throughout the rest of the book.
yeah, yeah.
That's
So
the one thing. That's the one thing I'm gonna sit here and be like, okay, guys, really? Like, I remember, like, I still very much like this book, but my one
okay,
gripe is that basically there's nothing else involving Harvey Dent
okay.
throughout the rest of this damn thing.
So that was just one issue. I was like, holy shit! When I was you remember, Kara, I was
You're
like,
like,
I'm
wait,
still on number
didn't I
one.
read more than one issue there? Like, what's going on here?
So I'm taking notes. I said, good God,
The
I got to go
messages,
back. What the fuck happened?
the,
I was like,
the voice
okay,
messages I got in this, like,
yeah.
I know I'm not only getting done with one book here. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God. I was like, oh my God, that was intense. Okay. I was like, fuck, maybe I can't do this. I was like, no, 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 we have to see that. Come on. So going on to book two.
Mm-hmm.
So Gordon, he's had his, he's paranoid. He's about to retire. He just wants to make it through. Like he's literally could see the end of the light. But his
Mm-hmm.
life is being, he's like looking over his shoulder at all times because his life has been threatened several times. So this fucking page was crazy to me. I actually like read it a couple of times and was like, Gordon's mind frame. And you could just imagine all the shit that he's seen, all the shit that he's gone through, and just the way he thinks now. He stepped out to have a cigarette and he's kind of like looking down the alley and he's like, how many bodies he's found in there that look like that alley? Like, how many crime scenes has he shown up to? And he's thinking about his wife and her vegetarian stuff, trying to like, be healthier. But then I think he sees somebody and he's very femme, he's very beautiful for a boy, and he's kind of thinking like he instantly thinks shitty thoughts to like what people would do to somebody that beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like it's easy for him to think things like that because of all the horrible fucked up shit that he's seen, and it's sad that that's his first initial thought, and I was just like,
And that's a trauma thing.
yeah,
Like, everything that he's been through, that's a trauma too. Because the
right,
story, especially if you look at year one, which was also written by Frank Miller, we've mentioned it before.
hmm, okay,
You see where when because not only are you seeing the beginnings of Batman, you're seeing the beginnings of Gordon in Gotham in that book. And where Gordon is coming from Chicago and he's being put in Gotham, and Gotham is really corrupt.
hmm,
Okay. And you have officers that are corrupt, and he's
hmm,
actually trying to do a good job. He's actually trying to
right,
be a good guy. And
right,
it's in some aspects of his life it's not working out, in others it is. But
right.
like there's moments like have you read year one, Sheena?
No,
Okay. Then I won't give that much away for you, but like there's
okay,
moments where he's um okay, I'm gonna tell you year one when it comes to Dark Miller or Dark Miller, Frank Miller Batman, a
hmm,
lot easier read, a lot quicker read. I will tell
oh,
you
duh.
that.
Okay, okay,
Okay. I had both times that I read this, it took me a lot longer than a normal like collected edition like of that length would take me. But
okay.
year one, I cracked that open thinking I was gonna at least take a couple days to read it. No, I cracked that
Mm.
baby open and it had me like in one sitting.
Sad, right? Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So it's it's complex. There's a lot going on, but it's also a lot easier to read than
Okay.
this one. Yeah.
That definitely get
Yeah.
to that one. So we have the news plays a lot in this story, and I should have got more panels where they were really talking about on the news,
Mm-hmm.
and they really put like a lot of the negative stuff that had to do with Batman, and
Mm-hmm.
people. There's this group of, I can't remember what they're called, but it's like mothers
Mothers
that
Against
are
like
like,
Violence or Batman or the Council of
yeah,
Mothers. Council of
yeah,
Mothers.
and
Right.
right? And they're like, oh, Batman's a bad influence, blah, blah, blah. We want to see him taken care of, like, and he's literally out here doing stuff. And then, so here's the mayor, right? And
Doing
people are coming to him.
consultation.
Yeah, it's just coming at him from everywhere. He's got people like that. He's got, people on the, he's got just all kinds of people. And he's just like, I don't know. I don't know. It's still up in the air,
The
So,
people in power have no answers, and the people in power have no answers, but the only people that suffer because of it are the people on the
mhm,
streets, the people
that part.
that are living their lives with no power, and they're the only people that suffer from the ideas of the people in power not having any ideas.
Got it.
Sound
Okay.
familiar?
Yeah, no doubt. So then, as they're talking about this, Batman actually saves this little boy. Like he's like the heir to some kind of candy or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, like his parents have comes from wealth and everything, and the mutants take this little boy. He's not even like 3 years old or something like that. And
He's a kid.
Batman, yeah, Batman goes and saves this kid, and he beats the shit out of these dudes. And even, I think there was like a controversy whether Batman even shot and killed somebody, because he does pick up the gun and
Mm-hmm.
he does shoot at this dude, but it's never like, even though in the news it says, yeah, nobody died and the little boy was recovered and he's safe, but we don't know that for sure. I feel like they could have just said that because they don't even really know what mutant or people that was involved in it. But
Mm-hmm.
Batman's like wondering where the hell did they get these weapons and everything from. And he actually takes one of the mutants, and
Mm-hmm.
he's trying to get. I love the panel before that, like when he's waking up and you get to see like his eyes open, and like, you get to see like some words, and like Batman's trying to, he's talking to him a little bit, and then you actually he fully awakens and he realizes that he's hanging up upside down from like the tallest fucking building.
Yeah.
Gotham. Oh my god, I was dying.
Yeah. That's some crazy stuff. Yeah. And
So then
just
we
like
find out that he.
the
What did
way
you say,
that's
girl? I'm
drawn.
sorry.
Mhm. Just the way that's drawn and everything like that. Like
Right.
it looks, it's almost like you have to take a second to realize exactly how nuts doing that is.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And you got to remember that Batman is a lot older than what he is. He's not like in his
right.
prime or anything like that. So even when he was going out, he had like painkillers, and like for he talks about how like his back, the twinge in his back, and like it takes him longer to recover because he is older. Like, but he's out here still trying to do the shit that he was doing 10, 20 years ago.
Hmm.
So we
So
find out that. Huh? Go
we're
ahead. What
starting
were
to
you gonna
get
say?
we're starting to get like more and more of this whole like um starting to find out like about medical and insurance issues and people not getting the help that they need. This is more of this whole like these people are being held down, and people that deserve help just
Mm-hmm.
because they've done things, they don't get the help that they need. And
Right.
like it's more, of this whole like I hate to quote, Phil Collins, but let's quote Phil Collins, this land of confusion.
Right.
Okay. Did anybody on their bingo card for Sheena's channel here think that anyone was going to mention Phil Collins?
I'm done.
Did
We
anybody
love us some Phil
have
Collins
that?
on the channel.
Yeah, this is the land of confusion. Okay, because people there people in power don't have the respect and desire to help the people that are underneath them, and
Mm-hmm.
this is it's just like every once in a while you have that just very deliberately pounded into your brain by Frank Miller
Mm-hmm.
here. Frank Miller is making a statement
Right.
about fascism and capitalism, and he's making a very what a lot of people would say today is a very liberal statement. Anti-capitalist, anti-fascist, all these things. Very this is what I say to people when they're like, I won't read Dark Knight Returns because holy terror. And I'm like, you know what, guys, if you want to see where this guy's heart might really lie, it's here.
Mm-hmm.
It's with this story
Okay.
because this is anti-capitalist, this is anti-fascist, this is anti name an anti that's liberal, okay? And you've got it here. Dark Knight Returns.
Okay.
Literally paints Ronald Reagan to be the most horrible person on the planet, the most clueless person on
He
the
drives
planet.
them so ugly too. I was like, I'm dead.
Like,
So then we have, yeah, you're right. Oh, fuck. Oh, oh yeah. Okay. So we see the news and we see this dude named.
you see the doctor.
Yeah, you see the doctor. He's upset. He still believes that like Batman's a fucking problem, and he's like hell bent on like, okay, he fucked up with Harvey, but he still really believes in what he's doing. And
Yeah.
we have, yeah. So then it's this dude named what Ted Koppel or something like that, and then you have Lena Lang or something on there too. And then so
Basically,
they're just talking about, yeah,
yeah. So yeah, Lana Lane is there. Hey Lana,
Lena Lang,
what's
yeah.
up, girl? And she's one of these ones that's like supportive of Batman and that kind of thing. You see her throughout the book.
Right.
And this doctor who is just yeah, the doctor's a whole other yeah.
Right. So
Like,
then now we get Reagan's like his committee, somebody from his party and his committee, like his people on the news, and he like runs around like like what should be done about the Batman, and what should
mm-hmm.
be done about all the shit
No
that's going on,
solutions.
and like and he's just like and just talking around it, just like any fucking politics, just the pretty words that don't make any damn sense.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so what's her name's looking at him like, bruh, okay,
Girls looking at him like, really?
yeah. All right. Then we see Carrie Kelly suiting up, making her own little costume, and deciding
Yeah,
that
she
she's
got
going
a
to be.
what was it, a Halloween costume that she put together?
Yeah,
And she's like,
yeah,
I'm gonna go. She's just like, I'm gonna go be Robin now.
yeah. She was like straight boss girl shit. She's just like, yeah, I'm gonna do this now. So,
She's like,
I get to
there's
see
a
her,
role that needs to be fulfilled. I'm going to
right?
just do it, and we're gonna see how that works out for me. And that's Carrie Kelly. She's just like, you know what? Let's do this. And so she does.
Right. So then we jump over to um, these people talking about who's going to be the next commissioner when Gordon
Mm-hmm.
steps down, and they, just like this part had me dead. He was like, black is too fast. It's like, yeah, that's not gonna do it. Like, what is this, Blazing Saddles? Like, it's like, no, that's not gonna happen. And he's just like, uh, this woman, I already have a perfect one, because they don't necessarily want to deal with the Batman. They want to throw it off on somebody else, but they want a certain person in that position. So he's like, oh
Mm-hmm.
well, you find one. He's like, I have the perfect person for you. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and then they announced that it is, um what's her name, Ellen Yindel, is that her name?
Yindle. Yeah.
Yeah. And this was Gordon. I was like, Gordon, what? He's all like, a woman?
Gordon is a
Like,
little bit of a misogynist here.
yeah, he's like,
Like a
a woman?
woman
What the fuck are you?
commissioner.
Yeah. And I was like, Gordon,
Gordon.
what? And then but yeah, I was just thinking, okay, like, they don't want a black person, but they didn't want, like, so they're just like, we'll put it, because if things go wrong, they can blame her and everything,
Oh, of
that comes
course.
with blaming the woman. But if things go good, then they look good because they put, like, they believe that a fucking woman could do it and all this shit. So they were
They could
just
be like,
covering their
oh
fucking
well,
trail. Yeah.
it's kind of like the whole, like, um let's just let's put the easy scapegoat in the role,
Uh-huh.
so they can be like,
Right.
oh well, that's what you get for having a woman in that role. Well,
Exactly.
what they didn't realize is that Ellen here is wants to, jump out guns a blazing.
Right. Right. And she said the first thing I want to do is, like, deal with the Batman as soon as I get in, and that was
Literally.
her beliefs, not their their doing. Like, she felt strongly about this shit. So
Literally, it's the first thing she does. It's
right,
literally,
literally.
literally.
So then um we get to see the leader of the mutants, and he's like, they're in this pit, like
The
this
pit party.
fucking
Yeah.
the pit party, and they're all, and then so you finally get to really see what he looks like, and they really look like disfigured mutant type shit, like, literally. And I was like, oh, okay. So
To which
then,
one you have to wonder, like what are we talking about here? Because people don't actually, because, like, with the exception of the presence of Superman in this book, um it's very realistic and it's very real. So, like, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about how these mutants are actually physically repulsive, or are they repulsive because they're ignored?
okay, yeah, yeah,
Are they repulsive because they are not taken care of as humans?
right, yeah,
And that's a question. That's a question that has to be asked. Why are people doing this?
right. So then we have this huge tank pull up, and it starts just blowing them away, and it is
Mm-hmm.
our boy,
Mm-hmm.
and he is
Guess who?
just blasting through them. Yeah. And it's crazy that this tank like thing comes over here, and I was just like, oh, is this where what's his name got this from? When he sorry, my neighbors are partying now. When he made the one an absolute Batman,
Mm-hmm.
and
The
so
one that's basically like a piece of construction equipment,
right, and then
sponsored by
then
Cat.
he's inside. Yeah. So then the mutant leader is calling Batman out. He's like, bring your ass out here and fight me. And
Funny you
Alfred's
should
like,
ask. I'm here already.
he's like, yeah. And then he's
My
like,
my,
oh, sir,
my
don't do that.
invitation got lost in
Don't
the
do that.
mail, guys.
Great. Yeah, and he's telling him, sir, please don't get out of there. Like, you're not young anymore. You're not. He can really hurt you. Like, don't go out there. And Batman's
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm Batman though, and I'm gonna
I'm
get my
back.
ass out there. Right, he gets out. Okay,
Iconic image right there.
right. Okay, okay.
Iconic.
Very
Iconic moment.
nice.
Just
And
that panel alone. Just iconic.
yeah, but iconic. And then our boy gets his ass rocked. Oh my god, he got a couple of hits in there, but for the most part, he was getting his ass whooped. Okay, and I was like, damn, and the leader's just like talking shit to him. He's just like, I'm in my prime, and like you're just washed up, homie. Like
Mhm.
you're done. I'm gonna put your ass down. And then I had forgot to say that Carrie Kelly had actually heard of what was gonna go down. She got word of like them meeting up at the spot, and she's like, oh
Mhm.
shit, maybe Batman will be there. So she took her ass on over there. And now she's seeing this fight go down. She's like, oh my God, he's going to kill him. And she
Yeah.
intervenes, and yeah, and she actually saves Batman. Holy shit. So she
Yes.
distracts him and is actually able to save him and get him back into the Batmobile, back into the tank. So
And he's all delirious.
yeah, he's all delirious, and he's badly hurt. And he actually says, he's like, what's your name, kid? And she's like, oh, I'm Carrie, Carrie Kelly. And he actually tells her that he's Bruce. And she's like, sir, like, what? Like, don't say those things. You shouldn't tell me. And he's just like, like really opening up to her because of the fact that,
Saved
he's
his
probably
life.
fucking lonely. Yeah, she just saved his life. So he feels like she's worthy of like knowing who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Oh, then, home the leader gets on, puts like a tape out there or something like that. And he's just like, I just fucking handled your Batman and fuck him and, basically all that, like,
He's just very upset.
yeah. So then we jump over and we kind of get to see the first time we get to hear Reagan talking to Superman. And he's just like, why don't you go have a conversation with your boy?
Yeah.
And Superman's like,
Let's
all right, I can do
have
that.
you have a conversation.
Right. And Superman's like, yeah, I can go talk to my boy. So,
Sure.
all right. Then we get to see
We have more. We have more of the Joker pulling a fast one on
Joker.
the
I
doctor.
absolutely love the way he looks in this. Okay, he reminds me like he looks like he stepped out of like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like I absolutely love the way Joker looks like in this run.
Yes.
So he's very
Okay. Here's
very
the
clear.
thing. It did not connect for me. It did not connect for me until you said Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I'm like, okay, I'm on board. I'm here. All right. The late night double feature. Okay. Yeah.
So then we get to see that he's watching, he's following everything that's going on. And then the doctor, like he's hell bent. So he's like, hell yeah, if I can like get the Joker right,
Like
I'm
set.
set.
Yeah.
I'm set. Like
and
yeah,
the Joker's
the Joker's
like,
playing his
you're not
part.
gonna
He's like,
lie.
oh like yeah, he's like, oh, I'm so, I'm so like you saved me, doc, and all this bullshit. And he's acting like he's crying and he's so remorseful and everything like that. Just playing the part. Okay, so meanwhile, in the Batcave, our boy's getting all stitched up, and it takes him a lot longer, like to get back on his feet and everything. But Alfred's trying to do what he can, and then Carrie Kelly gets to see in in the flesh the actual Robin Robin suit. She's just taking it all in and being in the cave, and just like holy shit, I'm here, I made it, and like, but really looking at that thing like holy shit, that could be me too. Like what? So
Yeah.
then, oh, so the you want to go? Okay, let me get your brother. Hold on. So then the mayor's all like, "Oh, this is Gordon's fault. This whole thing with this mutant is Gordon's fucking fault." Like, and I'm gonna put a stop to it right now because they have the leader in custody, right? If I can remember right, if this is what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And then so he's like, oh, I'm gonna go down there and handle him better than Gordon and them have, you know. So go
Yeah.
ahead and talk to him. Here.
We're gonna negotiate a settlement. You're gonna negotiate what now? A settlement with
Right.
with people that already don't trust you. So
Right.
yeah.
The mayor ends up dead right after that.
Mm-hmm.
The leader rips his throat out basically and kills him right there when he went to go see him in the cell. And they reported it on the news.
Yeah.
So,
The mayor is dead.
so much for talking to him. Yeah. And then Bruce has accepted her as Robin, and she's so happy about it. And he's back up on his feet. And then now he's having a conversation with Alfred, and Alfred's like, "Do you not remember what happened to every like?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, my guy, are you sure about this? Are you serious about this shit?" And Bruce is like, "I'll never forget. I'll never forget, but I got to move
Mm-hmm.
on too at the same time."
Yeah, I'll never forget Jason. He was a good soldier. He honored me.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we also have to look at the fact that as typical, Batman is completely
Uh-huh.
unhinged.
Right.
We love Batman,
So
but he's unhinged.
yeah, he isn't perfect at all. So
Mm-hmm.
and so he meets up with Gordon at this time to for with a plan, and
Yeah.
he's like, I have a plan, and it's going to involve you. And Gordon's like, hell yeah, I'm in. So he puts Carrie out there on the streets, and he has her in a disguise, and she's basically like putting the word out that like, hey, there's something big gonna happen at the pit. Everybody should fucking be there. Blah blah blah. Just spreading the word. While Gordon is making moves in the prison. I mean, in the jail, and he
Mm-hmm.
goes and sees the leader, and he's like, yeah, he's like, I'm gonna wash my hands of this. You're
Yeah.
free to go. You won.
Mm-hmm.
You're free to go.
So,
And the leader's like, oh,
so
huh?
basically, the leader
Right.
thinks it's his lucky day,
Mm-hmm.
but
Right. Well,
in
does he know?
reality,
He got set up, and he ends up being in this. He ends up getting like pushed or something, or falling into this tunnel, and the tunnel leads down into the pit where Batman's
mm-hmm.
waiting for him.
Yeah.
Where Batman's
And
waiting for him. I'm sorry.
long
And
story
he's like
short, Batman beats the crap out of him.
beats the crap out of him. And he learns that like to fight dirty. He's just like there's no honor in this motherfucker. Like I'm just gonna do everything that I can to win this fight. So and he
Mm-hmm.
does. And then he gains the respect of all the other mutants because when you're really looking around, like it's like young kids. You see what I'm saying? Like trying to look up to somebody, and they're just like, oh shit, like our leader's going. Well, okay, let's get in line for the next one. And so they start
And
painting their
and
face to.
yeah, and most of them
What were you
are
gonna say?
now disciples of Batman. Now there's some
Right.
stragglers here and there that are still doing stuff
Uh-huh.
that are not like with Batman.
Right. Right.
And
Right. For the
but
people
yeah,
that witness that shit. Right. All right. Good. I think that's it for that part. So yeah. So that's number two. That's crazy. So
there's so much in this.
it is. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So one of the major things that
So far, so
happens
good.
in the next issue is
I'm listening.
one of the major things that happens is you have this meetup between Batman and Superman.
Right. Let me get
And
right. Oh, this is the part that you.
oh
Okay, do you
yes,
want me to go to that part?
what are you going to
Hold
do
on.
about the Batman, Mr. President? And oh, Mr. President, the governor is going to deal with that. And the governor is like, oh no, the mayor's going to deal with that. And then the mayor is like, oh no, that's what we have a police commissioner for. Like, nobody is giving any answers. The buck is always being passed. And the only people that suffer in the face of no leadership are the people. This is,
Yeah.
and if you think about like what's going on in 1986 with Reagan,
Right.
okay, Reagan has done a lot of stuff. One, trickle down economics. Just look into that if you're unfamiliar. And the idea that if you give tax breaks to the rich, they will turn around and make more opportunities for the poor and give them more money. Well, you weren't banking on the idea that people are greedy. Okay. So then you have the idea that by the time Ronald Reagan even utters the word AIDS in public, thousands of Americans have died.
Right.
And the only reason that people believe that he does not mention AIDS is because when it first started happening and started showing itself, it was referred to as gay cancer. Because the prominence was high amongst
in
gay men.
The gay and the Black community, right?
Further watching or reading for you, anyone that's watching this, there's a movie that was produced by HBO back in the day. It's called "And the Band Played On," and that is about that's about the CDC and their lack of funding to fight and even research what's going on and everything that they had to deal with. And like Reagan's not even, he's just this backdrop. His presidency is just this backdrop for all of that. And by the time he even mentions the word in public,
right,
thousands of people have died. And probably one of the few reasons he actually mentions it in public is because his buddy that he didn't realize was a gay man, Rock Hudson, dies. Okay. So you have to think about when, by the time, so like some of the first cases of AIDS, I think were in 1981. 1981, 82. He doesn't say anything until thousands of Americans, just thinking about how many Americans died. And the thing is you have all these different epidemics and pandemics throughout the country. You had the Ebola that was going on in Africa, even, and that's something that they talk about in the Band Played On before you even get to. It was just kind of a sign of what was to come with AIDS and people ignoring it. And
and it kind of like shows right here is like what Carrie was saying, like, because even people are not just asking about Batman, like they even bring up Corto Maltese, the place that's made up and they're just like, what are you doing about that? And the all the shit that's going on and how they're acting down there, the Soviet Union is acting down there. And he's like kind of just like skimming over everything. He's like, but even though these are big issues to deal with, and then he's just like not even trying to address that shit until it becomes a real problem, real problem, So, but, right, yeah. So then, this part took me
The
the fuck
disguise
out.
is
And then I was like, what the fuck am I looking at?
yes.
What the
The
fuck
disguise
is
is
this?
for
It was
Bruce
like,
Wayne here.
it took me a whole fucking minute to figure out what was going on. So you have, what's their names?
Oh my
The,
god. Yeah, they're the oh
you
my
know what
god.
I'm talking about. The one with the
The
boobs and
woman with the
everything, you know?
pasties. The
I was
woman
like,
with
oh,
the swastika
okay.
pasties.
Yeah,
And yeah. I remember reading
yeah.
that the first time and just being like, are those fucking swastika pasties
My guy.
on that woman?
I was like, what the fuck is going on? Okay, so yeah. So this person is holding up the store, I believe, if I can
Mm-hmm.
understand that right. And Batman is basically following this person, and he's in that disguise, that old woman thing, whatever the hell that is, you know. And he's like trying to get the jump on him, or like trying to listen, because this person is working for the Joker, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so and then they're fighting. They end up in the tunnel. Carrie ends up in it, even though Batman told her to stay the hell out of it. She still tries to be helpful and almost damn near gets herself killed. They're fighting it out, and Superman comes and puts a
Mm-hmm.
stop to all of it, because he needs to talk to Bruce and he doesn't really care. So he puts that, he takes care of that person, puts them in a place for them not to hurt anybody, and he's talking, and Batman's like, "Are you fucking serious? Like, you just totally messed everything up." He was like, "Dude, I'll call you. Leave. Like, I'm hot right now. Like,
We'll
just
do
leave." And he's
something
just like,
else. Yeah.
"Yeah, yeah,
I'm busy right now.
yeah."
So we
So
more
then,
mutants.
yeah, more mutant stuff. The psychologist on there, the doctor on there, still talking shit, and I can't remember exactly what happens right here. So I'm sorry.
There's so much that happens
Trying
in
to
this.
remember everything.
Sometimes like if you're getting an overall message in this, you
Yeah.
know, it's
So,
there's about 3 or 4 different messages running around here.
right.
Another
So then,
iconic image right
right.
there.
Oh yeah. Right. Loved it. And that goes back to the beginning. So remember, I had the second panel was like the actual cover of the book, and like
Hmm.
I always thought there was always like this big controversy whether Batman was facing the opposite way or was he facing the front way. And I guess this year or something, we got real confirmation that he was facing forward. And I was
Hmm.
one of the people that was like, no, he's backwards. Look at him. And then like they actually drew it out to show like what he would look like if he was actually drawn out. So I thought that was pretty cool. Like a pretty
Hmm.
cool little fact. So, but yeah, I've seen this before I even read that and didn't know what the hell the significance was of it. But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, so our team is teamed up and they're out, trying to get the lead. Then
She's literally, oh my God, in this moment, like she is really like all about the business, right? So
right,
like
so Commissioner Gordon has his goodbye party, and she's brought in, she's sworn in, and like Carrie said, she's standing on business, like
she's
first
literally
thing
like,
out of her fucking mouth.
is this also show and tell? Because I brought for my show and tell a warrant for the arrest of Batman.
So
This
and
is what
then so
I
on the
brought.
other side of town, yeah, on the other side of town while that's going on, um, Robin and Batman end up in this apartment, and it's that dude that's working for the Joker, the one that
Yeah,
went to go see him
the one
in jail.
I can make bombs for you,
Abner.
sir.
Right. And then they see, yeah, so see he makes bombs and stuff, and then like that little doll was sitting there, and Carrie kind of goes up to it and come to find out it was a bomb, and it fucking blew out the apartment. Damn near died in there.
Mm-hmm.
The skin of their teeth got out, and holy shit, like
He's like, if you disobey me again, you're fired.
Yes, and then like that was the second like he's like you need to listen because she just went in there was like oh it's fine, and then she damn near got herself killed, and she got to remember like she literally has no experience with this shit. Like, could you listen to him, please, little girl, please stop. So then we have our Joker. He's like, oh, like the night before, he's supposed to go on TV and do his whole like,
Like, I'm
I'm
so
a good boy
excited.
now. Yeah, he's like, I'm so excited. He's like up turning the house and turning like it's the night before Christmas and shit. And he, our boy's up to no fucking good.
And we have our oh my goodness, the David Letterman
Dave,
mock
what
up
is his
here.
last name in this one? I'm dead.
The Indrican. Okay,
I
so
was like, that looks just like him.
let's be real. That's David Letterman.
Yes.
And yeah.
Now this is the part that Carrie was talking about.
Oh my god. Okay, so this guy right here.
Right.
I feel like one of the things that Frank Miller does is he takes Superman and he makes him the law of the fascist, like the instigator and the long arm of that thought process. And it's one of those things, it's the kind of my viewpoint on this. It's one of those it's kind of like the situation where you have somebody and they're like, well, I'm doing this and I'm on the side of this because that's the law. And right. we have to respect our leaders. And right. I'm going to speak out and speak on behalf of our leaders because that's what we're supposed to do. And that's what I feel like he's doing here.
It's like, shut up.
Yeah.
So, and then they're like listening to the news too, and they get word that they're being bombed or something, like like something's going down in Cortomo, tches, right? And Reagan's on the news and he's all like, we got God on our side, and he's like, oh, even better, something just as good. And Superman's like, I gotta go and handle this, and Batman's like, bye. Bye, you tool, so yeah. And then that's Superman fighting that, and he's having like his inner thoughts, and like so we find out that like all the superheroes, all the people that have power and things like that, they're kind of under their own law, right? Like, and then we find out like Diana went back to the Themyscira, like Hal Jordan, is it Hal Jordan? Mm-hmm. He went back, he's somewhere in the stars somewhere, and there's only a few that stayed and are respecting the law, and he feels like Batman isn't doing his part. He's just out here just doing everything he wants to do.
And what we find out later on is exactly what happens when the superheroes don't fall in with the powers that be because of Oliver Queen.
Yeah. So then, all right. So the big night, our boy Joker's about to go on live on David Letterman, right, or something like that. And
Letterman. Let's just call it Letterman. It's what it is.
Yeah. He's the commissioner's out looking for Batman, and Batman's trying to pull up and try to handle Joker before he does whatever the hell he has planned, So.
And he basically is like, he in no uncertain terms tells Carrie, don't deviate from the plan at all or you're fired. To which Carrie is like, there's like a little bit of bullshit in that, right?
Yeah.
because she's just like she is the one that sits there and she's like, this is going completely south. Like
Right.
on their end,
Which
it's
it kind of
going
does. Yeah. Yes.
completely. She's like, oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
all not working out. And she's like, I'm coming up with a new plan. And
Right.
I love that about Carrie. Like she's literally been told you're toast if you deviate from this plan at all.
Right.
And she's like, yeah, there's just a little bit of bullshit in all of that, right? Like
Uh-huh.
we're gonna ignore that and actually, you know, take care of business.
Oh yeah.
And literally she basically, helicopters over like she's like a high class Uber, um like here for pickup one dark night, and
Right.
she snatches him up, right? and
Right.
and and so like I love that she's just like, so am I fired?
Right.
Like you
Right.
gonna fire me now? Like no, you're not fired.
And so inside the the show, the live show, our boy comes out. Look how he looks. Like, love it. Look how he
Yeah.
looks. And they have guests on the show, other guests on the show and stuff. And
Yeah.
like this person, so they even have somebody that looks like that sex therapist that used to come on, right?
Dr.
I thought
Ruth.
that's who she looked like. Yeah, Dr. Ruth is
Mhm.
on there, and then they got this loudmouth motherfucker on there, and he's basically like just egging on the Joker, and he's just like, oh, you killed like at least
Mhm.
like 200 people. Like, you think that you're like, and Joker's
Oh,
like,
I could easily do more,
he's
and
like, you ain't seen shit yet. You ain't seen
fans
shit yet.
of the movie media would recognize how this scene here
Uh-huh.
in the book probably more than likely directly inspired the makers of the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie.
Oh, okay, yeah. When he's on the thing. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
if you recall, those that have seen this part, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is in a talk show like this, a late night talk show, and he kills everyone in the audience.
Right.
And
Right.
different method than what happens here, but yeah. So Joker is like, oh yeah, oh believe me, I'm on my shit. Here we go.
Right.
And he
Oh,
poisons
here's what you're talking
everyone.
about. Right. This took me the fuck out when I saw this. Oh my god. When he was writing on, oh my god, on the doll, the way I cackled when I saw this, like, this was so fucked up. And
A little bit of ridiculousness.
yeah, yeah, so he's just such Joker shit, like, and he kills everybody while he's writing this fucking robot that the dude Abner made for him to get out. He's making his grand escape, and like, look at him, the fucking, oh my god, I lost it when I saw this. I was like, are you fucking serious? But classic shit. So you get to see Superman. He's still handling business, still, doing people's dirty work. And then we jump over and see Joker's out. He goes and sees Selena Kyle. That's Catwoman right there. And I guess she runs like a brothel, right? Or something like
An
that.
escort service, yeah.
Yeah, escort service. And she has girls and everything like that. And Joker goes over and sees her. And he's gassing her. He's like, oh, the years haven't been that great to you, Selena. He was like, but I want to know about one of your girls. And she's like, terrified.
Mm-hmm.
Terrified, like, he's like, I want to know about one of your girls that knows a certain person that I'm looking for, and I need him to do something. I need her to do something for me, and like, she's in the position to not listen to him. She's terrified, and then
That's
that's
basically,
Selena's,
yeah,
that
that's
girl,
basically
one
the
of her
thing.
girls that was
Mm-hmm.
meeting up with this. this dude, this politician. Was he a politician or something
Yes.
like that? And yeah, and she killed him, or like gave him that kiss that had that same poison on Joker's lips. And she kisses him, and he ends up losing his damn mind, and he ends up going out like butt ass naked with just a flag on, right? And says, what is he claiming? I can't remember what he was talking about. But
Yeah, he basically he flies out the window. He's gone. He's dead.
yeah, he says like
And
something just crazy before he dies. And then like
mhm,
so everybody shows up to the crime scene, you know, Batman and Robin, they get like wind of it, and he's like, fuck, and he runs over to go see Selena. And this part is just so sad to me. Like, and he sees her, and Joker tied her up and put her in this Wonder Woman costume for whatever reason. God knows what he did to her. I
mhm,
don't. But the sheer terror on her face, and she's like telling him what he's about to do, and before he heads out, he kisses her goodbye, and I was like, oh,
yeah. Like even now, they're all about each other,
yeah,
and
yeah. Feels like in
she
every lifetime they're together.
like you know that the at that point when he kisses her and he kisses her goodbye and they leave that
Yes. Oh,
he's
right.
he's
But then
he's
you
gonna go do
see
some.
your boy. He's fighting, and he's pissed. He's feeling some type of way, and doing that work while they are headed over to where the Joker is.
Hmm.
And the Joker has it in his head. He's at this amusement park, right, where all these kids are, and families and stuff. And then they're giving out this cotton candy that's poisonous, right, to
All these little Boy
everybody
Scouts
in
are
there.
dying.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and they swoop in.
Hmm.
I'm so thanks for it. I was like, get him, Daddy. And then so Abner is there. He jumps on the roller coaster. He's like, I'm gonna make sure that these bombs go off. You go do you, you know, and I'll take care of this, So then Robin ends up going after Abner on the roller coaster, and then
Hmm.
Batman obviously goes for the Joker,
Yes.
and this shit is just crazy. Like, I think this was my favorite issue, like all the stuff that was going on right here. Like, it was so. Then they're running through the House of Mirrors together, beating the shit out of each other, and then you got glimpses of and they're he's doing the classic back and forth between each other,
Hmm.
and yeah, and like we said, that even though both of them are older, like it seems like Joker is kind of getting the upper hand of them at
Hmm.
times, and then we go back to like Carrie Kelly. She's on this roller coaster that's really going. She totally messes up what's the Saint's plans. He thinks that he's gonna, and she ends up like
Hmm.
getting rid of the bomb, and he is furious, and he goes after her. He literally gets out of the cart of the fucking roller coaster and goes back to the part that she's in, the part, and he starts choking her out. And he's
Yes.
huge. This is a 13-year-old little girl that he's
Yeah.
going after, and kids like he's killing in this fucking thing because he's just so worked in the head, And
Yeah.
she can even like the way that she was describing it, it was almost like the assault that she was going through, Like I was like, ooh, this isn't okay at all. Like what? Then I thought it was perfect that they end up in the tunnel of love together,
Yes.
Batman and Joker, like, and they get into it, and he actually paralyzes Joker because he's not going to kill him. And Joker's like, I got other plans for you. And he actually finds the strength in it because he even tells him, oh, I'm so fucking disappointed in you. This was a perfect moment. And you didn't take it. You're still like you're still like a punk. But I'm gonna handle that for you. And he ends up breaking his own neck and killing himself. And Batman's hurt really bad. And he
Mhm.
knows that nobody's gonna believe him. Nobody's gonna believe him. Nobody. He's already in deep shit, and nobody's gonna believe that he did not kill the Joker in there. Like they're never gonna believe that Joker snapped his own damn neck. And so he's just like sitting there, but he actually sits there with him for a minute, with the corpse and everything, and he's just like taking it all in and stuff as he's hurt, like he's fading out and stuff like that. So yeah, that was crazy. That was a crazy ass issue.
Yeah,
And
and we're
to keep
not
on
even
going.
done.
Right, this is the
That's
finale.
not
We're
the end,
almost there. We're
guys.
almost there. Yep, we're almost there. I was like, holy shit. And I text Carrie, I was like, number three's down. That one was great. Okay, here we go. Number four, the
Yeah.
epic battle, right? So we're back to Batman calling um, Robin, and she's trying to snap out of it. He's like, I need your help. And, we got to get the hell out of here because the cops show up. Everybody shows up to this place. And, he's like, we got to get out of here. And
Yes.
I thought this part was crazy. So he ends up blowing up the place, blowing up the tunnel
Right.
where Joker's body is. And I thought that was like crazy when he was like, don't smile at me, like he's so tormented by this man. Like even after he's dead, he's gone. Like
Right. This
he's
guy
still
is,
fucking with him,
yeah, like,
right?
mm-mm-mm.
So your girl does some epic shit, and she gets our boy out of there before he's
Again.
taken in. Yes, again, she
Epic,
does some
epic
crazy
shit.
shit. Yes, epic shit. 13-year-old, don't know, never done this shit before, and got him out of there.
Now,
Let that have been me. I'd be like, bro, we're going to jail.
can we just sit here in awe of Carrie Kelly for
Uh-huh.
just a moment?
Yeah.
She is one of, like, first of all, she's smart as fuck. Okay. Like, she reprograms a helicopter at one point.
Right.
And we talked about that. She figures out, oh, I'm going to definitely find Batman here. And she goes there. She is like basically hanging on by her legs on a helicopter, like,
Uh-huh.
and pulling the Dark Knight out of harm's way. Like, no, like I need more Carrie Kelly. And I understand that she shows up in the sequels to this.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it's she just has such a spirit where she's just like, I don't care.
Uh-huh. Right?
Like, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. So then, yep, so she gets him back, and Alfred's working on him, and he says he'll live.
Yeah. Because he's not done yet.
Yeah, he's not done yet. That's not the end of his story. So we jump back, and a bunch of I thought this was hilarious, this part. So a bunch of them, the mutant gang, they're in jail. And a lot of them, like I said, a lot of them were young, caught up in the wrong bullshit. And then they actually, like they called their parents and stuff for them to come get them. And their parents was like, no, they can stay down there. Leave them there.
We don't want to deal with them.
Your problem, though. What the hell? We don't want them. I was like, oh my God. Okay, so then here's Reagan. He's like, our friends down there, they can't, take the L. So, like, they came out with the big guns. Yeah, like, and he's already in the suit. Like, he's already, like, 10 steps ahead, and everybody's like, what the fuck? And, so that's when our boy comes in, he saves the day.
But let's talk. But here's the thing: this is a nuclear bomb. This is a nuke. Okay. So Superman is like, okay, I'm going to go take on a nuke, right? And like, you see how all that goes down, and it's literally he's almost killed.
Right.
Doing the work of the state.
Exactly. sacrificing himself, and then what's his name was like, Bruce is like, dude, I knew it. I knew it was gonna come down to this. You doing this shit, you know? And like you said, so this was a special type of one. I can't really remember, but it's like it's to destroy, but to take out certain things, and
Okay,
like
so
all the power
basically
went out. Yeah, tell.
what it's going to do is basically the power goes out. It's an electromagnetic pulse. Okay.
Yeah.
So other places that you see similar things happen, it's going to knock out all the electricity.
Uh-huh.
Something similar that happens in one of the Escape From movies. So Escape
Okay.
from LA, where they press the button and it's like, okay, yeah, there's no electricity, there's no internet, there's no
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Right.
so like the cars won't go. Like
Right.
everything
Everything
is
is shut down.
completely
Yeah.
everything every modern convenience is basically like
Taken away. Yeah. Shut down. Like
so
destroyed,
that they have to go
and
to the
everything goes in
staples.
chaos. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Everything is in complete chaos. It's pitch black, like, and then there's total mayhem because nothing's working, and people are busting out of jail, like people are out looting, people are out killing, like just total fucking mayhem,
The
after
plane
this.
crashes
And
into
then
the apartment building. Yeah.
right. And then so, our boy and our girl, they still got things to do. So when Batman had said, just like Carrie just said, there's nothing that's working, so they went to the next best thing. And I was just like, seeing this picture from somewhere. But
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, okay. All right. I think get on the horse, That's pretty epic. And
Yeah.
then so he goes to this is how dire it is, he goes back to the gang that supposedly like has his back that he's, the leader of, and he's just like, hey, we need to make things right. We need to get order, and we have to do it together. We have
Mm-hmm.
to, this is the only way. So
Yeah. If nobody else is going to look out for us, we have to look out.
and yeah. And then you see that the new commissioner, she she's kind of like, fuck it, let him do it. Like, let's see what Batman's capable of. Like, I'm not getting involved in this
Let's
shit.
see if he can fix this shit because
Yeah, yeah,
this is above my pay grade.
exactly. So,
Iconic,
and we get to see this. See
iconic
this.
shot right there.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then we get to see the damage that happened to Superman. Like you said, he damn near died, and what
And
it
he
did to
can't get
him.
to the sun. He can't get to the
Yeah,
sun.
he can't get to the
It's like,
sun because everything's blacked out. Yeah, and
yeah,
then I thought these
he,
were epic
this just
panels of him.
it's the well now see what being a lackey for the government has done to you. Yeah.
That's crazy. And then so I think this is like a few, like maybe like a week later or something, and it's snowing. Things to kind of calm down a little bit, and
But
it's
we have a
snowing,
little
and
bit
it's
of
still like,
a nuclear
yeah,
winter kind of situation.
exactly, right.
Yeah.
And who is he? Oh, he's talking to Oliver Quinn in this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is he? Yeah. So he's talking to Oliver Quinn. You want to tell them about this part? Okay.
Yeah.
What's the part? So he's talking to him, and he's like, like, and Oliver's like, yeah, I got your back whenever. And we realize that he doesn't have another arm because of Batman. He's like, but I'll still help you. And, like,
No, you didn't realize that? He doesn't have that arm because of Superman.
Superman. Oh, I thought it was Batman. I was like, oh, I was like, he's
Yeah.
still helping him? Okay, okay, for Superman. And then, like, I'm assuming, they're getting ready to go head to head with Superman because he knows that he's coming for him and everything like that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So then, yep, this is our boy sitting up for the fight.
Mm-hmm. The final showdown. It's gonna be
Final
wearing
showdown.
like this like massive like mech suit so that he can square up. So he can
Yeah,
squabble up with Superman, you know.
right.
And
Oh, and then they finally meet each other.
mm-hmm.
And he tells them stand down, and Batman's like, suck my dick. And they handle business. And I was like, oh
Mm-hmm.
my gosh.
This
And he gets
it,
a good,
it's
yeah.
this fight, this epic fight between two people that
Uh huh.
I love that Batman's like, okay, so here's the thing, we're getting too loud, we're getting too messy. I'm going to take the advantage of this situation, right?
Uh huh.
And I'm going to make people think that I'm dead.
Yeah. So,
So he takes the beating, holds his own because probably because of his suit, right? And
right.
because dear God, this is Superman, right?
Right.
And he
And
this
even this part, he's like, come on, dude. Like, are you serious? Like, he takes his helmet off. He's like, Batman, give up. Like, are you serious, dog? Like, quit doing this. And I mean, he didn't really want to fight him, but at the same time, like,
but he
not
is.
having a mind for himself and be like, yeah, like, they were even cool at one time. Like, what? I just didn't understand this. But, when you think
Mhm.
that, and yeah, he hurts him right there. I think he like breaks his ribs or something like that, or something like
Mhm.
that. And then this is when Oliver Queen comes in. I mean, Oliver Queen comes in, and he's like got that arrow with kryptonite on it, right? And
Mhm.
hits him enough to like hurt him. And Batman puts him on his ass for a minute, but he says, I want you to look back at this moment and remember, I was the one who handled you,
Mhm.
handled your ass. So if anything, even if I'm dead and gone and stuff like that, I want you to know that it was me that took down the Superman. And and Bruce's heart is giving out right before the end of the
Yep.
fight, and he ends up passing out.
By
Like,
design.
yeah,
By design.
yeah. I was like, what? When I heard this, when I saw this, she was with mom and Shaden. She literally just left me. So
Mhm.
then, and word spreads that the Batman's gone. Things are kind of getting back to normal and quiet and everything like that. And
Mhm.
this part, I was like, "Are you serious?
Yeah.
Is this?" So Alfred took care of everything, even though everybody found out that Bruce was Batman, right? So he burned down everything, he took care of everything, and then Alfred ends up dying.
Alfred just has a heart attack.
Yeah, he has a heart attack and well, broken heart. I don't know. It was like, what?
Yeah.
And then
Alfred's just like,
at
yeah,
the
I'm done.
funeral, now at Bruce's funeral, Superman's there, and Selena ain't having it. She's like, "Fuck you! Why are you here?
I
You
love
know what you
look at the gloves.
yeah." And
Look at
she
the gloves he's
yes,
wearing.
love it, right? And she was like ready to attack his ass, and
Like
she's just like, "You
Mama
should
still
be,
has her
just
claws.
trying to do to him." Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly, exactly. So, and then everything's said and done. Everybody's supposed to be leaving. And then all of a sudden, Superman hears a heartbeat, and it was coming from the grave. And he
Mhm.
realizes that Batman isn't really dead. And he just smiles and he leaves it at that. He could have took it another way, but you know, the whole world thinks that he's dead and gone. So just leave it
Yeah.
at that. Let that be his last thing to his friend. And yeah. And then we find out that, Batman's still doing shit. Like he's still
Yeah.
running. running the place at the end, but he's underground. Nobody knows that he's alive, but he's got connections. He's got people out there. And I'm looking for Alfred in this fucking picture, and I did not see him.
Yeah, Alfred really died.
No, fuck this book.
So now we've in two books in a row
So
we've read where Alfred died.
He really thought he died, and then he died. Oh my god, girl, I'm dead.
Sitting at Bang.
Fuck this. Fuck this. Fuck this book. I'm done. Let's wrap this shit up. I'm mad.
You were hoping I was going to come into this situation and be like, no, like Alfred's there. No.
Negative 3. Negative 3 point. Negative 3 for you. Fuck this book.
And that's the end.
Yes.
That's the end. That's the end for Dark Knight Returns. So
that was crazy.
Overall, like it is one of these pieces that will always be like,
hey, brother.
Yeah. Hey. It's one of those pieces that you can definitely read it and understand why so many people were inspired by it, and why I feel like it really stinks. It really frosts my cookies that this guy went, and I think a lot of the reason that people don't read this today that get into comics now or have gone into comics for the last few years, I think the reason why a lot of people don't read Dark Knight Returns is because this guy fucked up. And it is, to me, one of, when I read it and I went ahead and I read it and I was just like, wow, this is like one of the most anti-establishment, anti-capitalistic, anti-fascist pieces of comic book work that I had read in like this and the book Punk Rock Jesus. Were two of the most like anti-capitalistic, anti-media, like corruption and oh man, like, and this was just like I was like, how is it that more people aren't talking about Dark Knight Returns? For being what it is.
Right. And it's like you said, regardless of how you felt about him, he's paved the way for a lot of other people, inspired other writings and everything like that, and showed us a whole nother side. I don't, like I said, read this, try to look into it a lot of, and then on the other side of the coin, you had people saying that Frank Miller's Batman was a fascist. All this shit was going down, that you really got to see a whole nother side of writing, that I think it was Alan Moore. Alan Moore had quoted that because Frank Miller said that he took a lot from like I said, he took a lot from, Clint Eastwood stuff, and that he would, Dirty Harry stuff and like that. And it was Alan Moore that actually said, it's giving birth of a nation. And I was like, oh.
Whoa. That.
And this is, and I was like, whoa. And then, if you go back, like I said, if you read through this, when I finished, I was like, holy shit, that was epic. And then, but I was just like, so, you go online, you're looking, and, and then, like I said, I didn't really know anything about him except for, like the little tidbits of what people have said, and then I'm looking, and then I even like read a couple of articles and stuff like that. And I saw that, and then I was like, what the fuck?
Now,
there's parts in it.
I'd be interested to find out more about how he equated Dark Knight Returns with Birth of a Nation.
Okay. Yeah. So
because I'm trying to see the connection and I'm not seeing it. That doesn't mean that it doesn't makes sense, but so I'm asking, does he go into more detail as to
Yeah,
why?
he goes into more detail of why. So there's parts like, okay, so let me see if I can tell this right. The Birth of the Nation, you have like this mass person, saying, you know what, these groups of people, savages, very violent, very, going out doing this stuff. So it's only one man, one person, one way of thinking of doing it, and that iconic part where Batman's on the horse, there's actually the same fucking picture in The Birth of a Nation. So I didn't read all into it, but like the undertones, like he was saying, like that when you look at it, when you go back and you look at it, was Frank Miller really saying these things, or was he really like showing you that he really wasn't maybe on the side that you think he is? And especially like they were saying like how
Well, if you're
a
reading
line
this
when
and
they brought up,
if you're reading this and you're thinking that Frank Miller is supportive of superheroes, he's not. Like, if
okay,
you're reading this and you're thinking that Frank Miller is making a statement that Batman is good,
mm-hmm.
he's not necessarily making that statement.
Right,
I,
yeah,
I,
like
I
I
yeah.
and like I said, I can't talk about it. I can like send you some of the links of the shit that I've watched. It was
Mm-hmm.
just an interesting read, and I was just thinking, okay, well, maybe two things could be right at the same time. You see
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? It's just like what you
Yeah.
interpreted the story
Yeah.
to be and
Yeah.
what you want, and it's okay. Like either way, whether you just read the story and just fucking thought it was an epic, Batman story, or if you started really pulling this shit apart, especially like with the media, and like somebody even, I believe in one of his Frank Miller's fucking interviews, he was saying that he's not political, he's not in the middle of the shit, and Dark Knight Returns isn't political, but all through it has a bunch of shit that has to do with everything, data world. And it was so much in our world. Do you understand? Like, so like real people in our world that were in this fucking story that, what are you talking about, my guy? So I don't know. I was just like,
I
fuck, my
think
head hurts. So
sometimes
I'm like, called
people,
it.
it's one of those things where it's like you have to look at something and be like, okay, what do you consider political and not?
Yeah.
Because
Right.
to me, if you're like if you're involving Ronald Reagan directly in your story,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
that's political. That's a political statement.
Yeah. Right.
Because and here's the thing, if you're making statements related to the policies and that kind of
The
thing,
economy. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
of
There's
this
even stories of
presidency.
like, right. There's even, I didn't show this one story. There's literally a story, like a couple of stories are dropped right in the middle of this story, this big ass story, where they had the one woman, she had just got off of work. She waits tables, and she's thinking, fuck, people don't even tip anymore. And people survive on tips, and then like she's got $10 to make it through the end of the week, and then like the mutants come and they try to mug her, and she literally tries to fight for her life to hold on to that 10 last fucking dollars that she has. And like
Mm-hmm.
she's blaming the people that are coming and sitting and actually eating, but then when you look at it, you go all the way back. Well, why aren't people tipping? And maybe people are just going out and barely can even afford to really go out. And then, okay, is
This
that
is
really their fault that they're not making the fucking wages, that they're not? You see what I'm saying? Like there was like things that he just
when
kind
it
of
comes
threw in there,
down
and
to
it's
it,
just like,
it's saying
yeah,
everything is political.
yeah. Then he was showing how like the media feeds you certain shit. So then um, you had the one story where the guy, he was listening to the record over and over and over again backwards, and he felt like he heard something totally different than what. So and then he goes and he shoots all those fucking people in the theater,
Mm-hmm.
and they blame him for, they say it's this and this and that, but then they turn around and they not show the story about how that guy that was trying to the people were trying to rob his restaurant, and he stood up for himself. And it was like Batman that gave him the fucking courage to like stand up for himself and like not let somebody just run over him. But they didn't want to put anything like good on the
It's
news. And
the
I mean, how many times have
yeah.
you opened up your fucking phone and been like, oh, this fucking person there, this and that, and, you know, like just feeding you, but you're not showing like anything else, you know, like that, just showing how the media is controlled and everything like that, and what you see and what you hear and how you feel, and you know what they're feeding you at all times. Like, I just thought, yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you go back and you look at it and you're reading it and you're taking this apart and like really looking at it as a whole, you know, I can see where other people were saying things like that. I'm not saying that I agree. I
Mhm.
thought it was fascinating, you
Yeah.
know, from the first time reading this and actually like
And,
diving into this whole scenario and shit like that. I'm just like,
and
oh shit, yeah,
this is
like
the
okay,
first time I've ever had anyone say to me that there's influences of Birth of a Nation and Dark Knight Returns, and I'm like,
like what?
what? Like,
I was like, holy shit! Like and that was from another creator, another fucking comic book creator, you know. And I don't know if he just said it to shit on him or was he really like, oh no, I read this and I see it differently, you know.
um,
So like you said, you can take it as you want, but you
yeah.
cannot take away that Frank Miller paved the way for a lot of other people.
And when it
The
comes right down
you
to
know,
it, the person that said it is also one of these people that has had a lot of like really like interesting views towards like the medium as well.
okay,
That
okay,
he's known for having those views like certain views like
okay,
it's I think you got a lot of guys in rooms trying to make statements
okay,
and
yeah,
sometimes the statements, you know, you take what you can out of it. It's like when you're sitting in classroom back in high school and people are telling you, here, this is this piece of literature, this is this piece of poetry, and you have to
right,
analyze it
right,
and you have to be like, what does
right,
this mean? What does this
right,
mean? What does it mean? And like there's this you know idea that what it means could mean something completely different.
entirely, yeah.
There's an old
Right,
story
right,
that when I was in college, I was taking a popular music class, and
uh-huh,
so the, there's varying stories out there about the origins of certain Beatles songs, and one of them that is out there allegedly is
uh-huh,
an alleged inspiration for the song "I Am the Walrus." Is
okay,
this guy? He was friends with John Lennon.
okay,
This is all alleged because John Lennon, when this guy told the story, John Lennon was dead. Um,
okay,
so allegedly, John Lennon would read some of the fan mail that he got
uh-huh,
from people, and he got this letter that there was this kid that went to the same, you know, like the equivalent of middle school, okay,
uh-huh,
that he did. And one day, the teacher had put up lyrics of the Beatles on the chalkboard and
uh-huh,
told the kids, you know, analyze these lyrics. And all the kids were like, okay, well, this is what we think it means. And one by one, you know, every time the teacher would say, no, you're wrong. It means this. And so John Lennon supposedly didn't like that. And he sat down and he wrote, I am the walrus, turned to
okay.
his friend and said, let the fuckers figure that one out. So right now, we're the fuckers sitting there analyzing Dark Knight Returns. Alan Moore was a fucker
My head hurt so
analyzing
bad
Dark
after
Knight
I was done because I was
Returns.
like, oh my fucking god! I was like, this is above my clerk education. Like, but I don't have a lot of background
Yeah.
when it comes to like knowing comics politics. Like knowing about different. So I was just like, but it was just interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I'm not. If you thought this was the greatest fucking book, Batman book, that's your favorite, great. Because
It's not necessarily my
even after
favorite,
I
but
text you,
yeah.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Even if it's somebody's absolute favorite, I love that for you, for real.
What
And
did
then
you get
when
out of
if
it?
you want to
What
say,
did, yeah,
you remember
what
I texted you, I was like, this is epic. I had, even though I was fucking so overwhelmed at times, I was just
mm-hmm.
like, it's very poetic. It's very deep. This is something that you definitely have to sit here and take your fucking time and read. This
You
isn't
know,
just
yeah,
breezing through. This is like
you
I wish I
can't
had
sit
time to
there
even
and
watch the animated series. Yeah,
you can't sit there and be like, okay, I'm gonna pump this out in one day. I'm just gonna sit there, no
it's
breaks,
not.
gonna read this
Yeah,
thing.
you're
No.
definitely yes, you're definitely gonna sit there with it, and you're definitely going to. And maybe every time you read this and look back at it, you may see something different and you may feel differently about it. And I feel like that's okay too. That's
Mm-hmm.
okay too. But for it to be how old you said, 40 years old,
Yeah.
and we're still talking about it and it's still impactful in a
We
way, and it's crazy.
still
Like there's still shit that's very fucking
we
true
still
to
have
today. Like,
people we still have people, creators in the industry saying,
yes.
I want to make this character's Dark Knight Returns or this character's Dark Knight Returns. Like um, we talked about Tom King last time. Tom
Yes.
King is doing this epic Wonder Woman run where before he started doing the Wonder Woman run, he was like, I want this
Uh-huh.
to be Wonder Woman's Dark Knight Returns. You know, um,
Right.
Chip Zdarsky wrote Avengers Twilight, and people are, he's not necessarily saying that. I don't know if he said anything like this, but people are sitting there saying Avengers Twilight is Dark Knight Returns for Captain America.
Okay.
I mean, nobody's really saying it, but Catwoman Lonely City is Catwoman's Dark Knight Returns.
Yes. I swear to God, I meant to say something like that. I was like, damn, like, there's a lot of like callbacks to that. Like, her being older, her, trying to fall back into that.
One last heist. Yeah.
One more, yes,
Yeah.
yes, okay. So yeah, I mean, that's that. Let us know in the comments how you feel about it. Like I'm just curious to see how people feel, how they took
Mhm.
this. This was, if anything, it was
Yeah.
an epic ride. Like I can't
I'm
take that
gonna
away from it. It was, yeah.
I'm gonna totally dig into that whole like Birth of a Nation thing because like
Girl, I
that's
was shook. I was like, what am I reading? Like, I was just like, oh my God. Like, and there's a lot of people that feel very strongly about it. But it's just interesting. Like I said, it's just interesting to see and how people feel and how people interpret stuff. And at times it can be scary, but at times it's like, yeah, this is like open for discussion. And there's no, I don't feel no
and
type of way about it. I'm just fascinated with
there's
it,
the
Yeah.
idea there's the idea one of the things that I think is kind of lost on a lot of people when they interpret media these days is the idea of media literacy and understanding that sometimes when you're talking about something doesn't necessarily mean that you agree with it. Like if you're writing
Absolutely.
about something,
Absolutely.
it might be the fact that maybe it is. Maybe it is a take on Birth of the Nation. Maybe that's exactly the point.
Right.
Maybe he's saying, yeah, this is all screwed. And I'm going to make Batman look like he's the leader of the Ku Klux Klan.
That's like the fact. Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm dead. I'm fucking dead. But yeah, I mean, so
Maybe
that's a wrap on this one.
I'm going to make Batman look like the leader of the Ku Klux Klan. I'm going to make Superman look like, he's supporting the government turning a blind eye to let's
Right.
get really the government turning a blind eye to lynchings
Right.
happening,
Yeah.
a
I mean,
blind eye
yeah.
to the
I mean,
fact
it's
that,
right there.
you know, like Seriously, like this could be like the, and it's just all right, all right, all right.
So yeah.
Oh,
So
I could
yeah, I
see
mean, is
that.
there something else? Yeah, right. I don't know her. I was like, I'm dead. I'm done. So yeah, so that's
Ooh,
it. But we will be back at the end of this month. Hopefully everything goes right. We'll be back here at the end of this month with our girl Inja, and we're gonna be reading
something a
her
little bit
favorite
lighter.
brand. Huh?
Something a
What'd you
little bit
say?
lighter.
So yes, absolutely. Something a little lighter, a little fun, a little funner, a little more, girl, so girly for,
Now
Women's Month.
we
And
had
we're gonna,
mentioned it before. We are reading the first volume of Gotham City Sirens. So if you want to read
yes.
along,
Yeah. You're
check
more
out.
than welcome to. We'd love to see you in the chat. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, commenting, everything, listening to us rant, and rave. I hope I did good. Oh my god, I was just like fucking sweating it. I was just like, oh my god, we're gonna fuck this up. But
This
yeah,
is
I think I did
crazy. It's
okay.
such a crazy book, and it's like, oh man, wow.
But yeah,
Okay,
we
you have
appreciate
now
you.
witnessed live on YouTube. Carrie's mind getting blown because of Alan Moore and Sheena, bringing that to the table. Blown.
Now Sheena bringing it. Okay, that's not okay. But yeah, all right. Bitches
Woo!
out, right, Carrie?